Okay, right. We're going to be doing a series of webinars over the next couple of weeks or so. And really these webinars, they're going to be aimed for entrepreneurs and SMEs that are now starting to adapt to the new norm, where people are more working from home, working differently. A lot of businesses have had to change the way they do things, change the way they work. A lot of business owners restructuring the business. Over the next few weeks, we'll be talking about how these changes, to actually adopt these new changes, how to work from home, how to work with remote staff more effectively. Hopefully you'll find some really useful content. We're going to be doing these every Monday, Wednesday and Friday at 6 o'clock. There'll be Q&A sessions at the end. Please feel free to ask any questions that you may have, and I will do my best to answer them for you. Some of the things we're going to be talking about, the problems when working from home and how to get around those problems. We're going to look at systemizing the business and what software to use. When you are working with people remotely, you're working virtually, you're working over the internet, it's really important that your business is set up to work virtually. So that involves using software and having established processes. So this is something that I've been doing for a number of years now. I've got a remote team working for me based out of the Philippines. So this is how I've just learned some of the techniques I'm going to be talking about, some of the software that I use. I'll be sharing that information with you to help you take your business into an online business, a business where you can work with your teams virtually. We're going to talk about building a virtual team, how to actually go and find people to recruit, to bring into your team, and how to train those people. We're going to look at communications, things like Zoom, and communicating effectively using chat services, not just WhatsApp, but Slack and maybe Skype. We're going to look at all of the various different tools that are available for collaborative working and how to use those. We're going to look at effective task management. So it's very, very different when you're working with somebody that's maybe on the other side of the world to when you're working with somebody that you actually share an office with. We're going to look at how to actually do that, how to manage tasks, how to set due by dates, the sort of checking in and reporting process. We're going to look at how to be a great leader. So how to inspire people, how to motivate people, you know, not just being a boss or a manager, but actually to be a leader, to be somebody that can guide and support people within your team. We're going to be talking about internet security. Very, very important when you're working with remote teams that you're doing so in a very safe and secure way. So we'll be discussing that. And also we're going to be looking at the importance of having operations. These are documents and videos which detail out everything that you do within your business and how to put those documents together. So they're a real asset to your business. Okay, apart from, as a business owner, apart from you, they are probably one of the greatest assets that you can have. If somebody new comes into your business, when you've got all of your processes documented, you can pass those operations manuals to those new people and they can be used as training. It may be at some time in the future you actually want to sell your business. Or can you imagine the importance of having all of the operations, all of the things that you do, the steps, the processes that you undertake within your business documented, so you can pass that information on to new owners of the business once you've sold it. So there's some of the things that we're going to be talking about. Brief introduction to me and who I am. I had a successful career working in the corporate sector, working on new developments and new projects, mainly office buildings, and I was building project teams to actually deliver large projects of new corporate facilities to companies throughout the world. So I was used to, I've got a background where I have had to build teams to deliver projects, and not just build the team, but lead that team and deliver high value projects to our clients. So I worked doing that in the corporate sector till 2017. And then in 2017, I decided that I actually wanted to get out of that corporate world and start to build my own businesses. I'd already been a successful property investor since I started investing in properties in the mid-90s. So I decided that I wanted really to, like I say, get out of the corporate world and focus my attention on building my property businesses. So I knew that if I wanted to do that, that I couldn't be doing everything myself, and that in order to scale up, I would need to outsource the tasks within my property business that I either didn't want to do myself or have to do myself. And that's the way to scale up the business. So I took on my first virtual assistant, and I'll explain exactly what virtual assistants are later, but I took on somebody to actually undertake the operational tasks within my business for me back in 2017. I completely systemized the business, so I started to introduce software and processes that my virtual assistant could actually use to undertake the operational tasks. It worked very, I was very successful at doing that. I was also very well known within property networks, and people were coming to me and they were saying to me, wow, Richard, it's amazing the way you've managed to systemize this business and you've removed yourself from all of the day-to-day operational tasks. And the people were asking me, can you tell us how you've gone about this? Can you mentor me and show me how to systemize my business and how to recruit a VA myself? So I formed Awaken to Business, and I was providing that mentoring and recruitment services to other business owners. And then that became so popular that I then started to, if you like, systemize that business and develop a new brand, which is Boom, which provides an awful lot more training and support and education, not just for business owners in how to work with virtual assistants and remote staff, but also training the virtual assistants as well. So Boom, we provide very good support for business owners and people that want to be a VA. Earlier this year, I also started another new service which is called Smart Hospitality Solutions, and that is a that is a call answering service, if you like, specifically for the hospitality sector. Now, obviously, that is rather dormant at the moment with everything that's going on with regards to the whole hospitality sector and COVID, but that is another service as well that we have. So first of all, I would like to just talk about some of the, give you some ideas and tips about when working from home. So firstly, it's really important that you establish a dedicated work area within your home. So try and create, if you can devote a room to become your office, that is ideal. If not, then do create a section within another room, which is your work area. Okay, so that is the place where you go to do your work, and when you're not working, you're not in that place. So it's really important to try and create, if you like, a bit of a barrier. Okay, so you have a place to go to work and you have a place to go to live, just as if you were going to an office. Okay, but it's your home office, and then you can switch your mindset between work mode and leisure mode. Make sure as well, when you're working from home, that you do take regular breaks, okay? So I recommend really working for a maximum of 90 minutes, doing a 90-minute session. It's going to be a lot more tiring when you're just working on a computer screen all the time, and when you're having virtual meetings rather than face-to-face meetings. And you know, when you're running a business in the old days, you would spend more time perhaps going out to meetings, maybe going down the coffee shop for lunch, or going to the kitchen area to make a cup of coffee. So you would naturally be getting up from your desk, walking around, going and chatting to people. When you're working from home, you don't have these natural breaks. So it's really very important to make sure that you do still take breaks, do 90 minutes and then get up, walk around. Another good thing here is if you're on the phone, if you're having phone calls, then when you're doing that phone call, you can get away from the desk, move around the house a bit, perhaps as you're talking, maybe go and make a cup of coffee, something like that. So do make sure that you do keep moving. Make sure you see daylight as well. If your office that you have set up is perhaps in the basement or in an area where there's not good lighting, make sure that you do get outside, you do see daylight. And in fact, when you take those phone calls, you know, if we've got nice weather like we have at the moment, go outside, make the phone call, have the phone conversation outside, getting lots of fresh air, lots of daylight. Let other people know what your working hours as well. So you're not going to get interrupted by people coming around, not going to happen right now, but maybe in a week or two, people coming around, knocking on the door, people ringing you up and disturbing you. So make sure that your friends and your family do know that you're working from home and these are the hours that you're generally going to be working. Make sure that you drink plenty of water. Okay, so really do keep yourself hydrated. The recommended amount, well, depending on which book you read, but around about sort of 2 to 2.5 litres, which is a lot of water. Do make sure you've got plenty of water. I have this here, which I keep on my desk. It holds 2 litres. I fill it up in the morning, and then I make sure that during the day I'm taking sips of water and keeping myself hydrated. Set out a daily routine as much as you can as well. If you can, you know, set a routine for when, you know, getting up early, you know, 6 o'clock, 7 o'clock, get up, do some exercise, you know, maybe go for a run or a walk, depending on what you want to do. But do get some exercise in, then regular time, come back, have your breakfast. Maybe you might want to set some time in the morning, just after breakfast, perhaps to check your messages, maybe WhatsApps, and then don't look at them again till you've got another period of time scheduled. Really important that you don't allow your time to be robbed, okay, by checking Facebook or checking WhatsApps that have come in. You know, keep focused on your work, set aside some time each day to check your messages, do your emails, maybe half an hour in the morning, half an hour in the afternoon for checking emails. The rest of the time, you're not actually looking at your emails, so you can focus on what you need to focus on. Dress as though you're going to the office. So don't just because you're working from home, don't sit there in your pajamas or whatever, your tracksuit when you just got back from running. Dress to impress. Dress as though you were going to a normal office, and that will put you in the right frame of mind. It's all about keeping that mindset going. Also make sure that you've got good equipment. It says he that's got sun streaming in through the window, but you make sure you've got good camera, you've got good microphone, you haven't got distractions as well. So if you are going to be doing video work, make sure that you haven't got kids and children running around or kids and pets running around in the background. You could use a virtual screen, such as I'm using here. So it hides the clutter. So make sure that you've got good equipment, you've got good comms, you've got good microphone, you've got good camera. And then we'll talk a little bit in a bit more detail about that later, and about having good Zoom calls. But make sure when you're setting up your office, that you've got all of those things in place. Now, there are some common issues when working from home, okay? So it's really important that you understand what those issues are, and also understand that when you've got remote teams, these issues don't just affect you, but they also affect the other people within your team as well. So, you know, make sure that you do understand what those issues are, and that you make your team aware that you understand what the issues are. And there are things that you can do about this. So, you know, it is a lonely, it can be lonely when you're working from home. It may be that you're sat there for 7 or 8 hours in the house, nobody else there. When things get back to normal again, you know, your partner may be working in the traditional way in a normal office or normal business, and they're going out in the morning and they're not coming home till late at night. The kids are off at school. So it may be that you are sat there, you know, all day long, every day, all on your own. Yes, sure, you're talking to people over Zoom and on the telephone, etc. But it is lonely. Also, it can be very hard to switch off. So getting back to the importance of setting a routine and trying to stick to that routine as well, and having that dedicated work area so that when you finish your work, if you finish your work at 6 o'clock, 7 o'clock at night, whatever it is, you take yourself out of that area and you're then in your living area, living part of your house. Okay, and it is very easy to get distracted yourself. So like I say, make sure that you don't allow people to rob your time, your family, your friends. They know exactly when you're going to be working and when you're not available for the social chit chat. So just move on to the next slide. So some of the other things you can do to actually overcome these issues is to allow flexible working. So there's actually, when people are working remotely, your people that are working for you, your teams, okay, that are working remotely, one of the things that they may struggle with is that they will have the thoughts that you may think that they're not actually working properly, okay, because you can't see them. They think that you might think that they're slacking, okay, that they're doing other things. They're not getting the work done. The reality is that they're probably working just as hard, if not harder, compared to somebody that's actually sat in the office. It's a funny sort of mental thing that goes on. So you can actually afford to slack back off. As long as they're getting the work done, then they're doing the work, you're getting the results that you need. You don't need to adopt that approach. And what you can do is you can actually allow them to be flexible with their working hours. So when you're working from home, as long as you get the jobs done, if it suits them to be getting up at 3 o'clock in the morning and doing 4 or 5 hours work, then that's okay. Or if people, you know, the house may be quieter in the evening and then people may find it easier to do their work in the evening. So you can allow a much greater degree of flexibility with your team when they're working from home. Try and have huddles. So again, as I said earlier, when you're working in an office, you naturally, you get up, you go and have a cup of coffee, you go over to the water cooler, get some water, you start chatting to somebody about what was on the telly last night, or you know, their latest, I don't know, latest conquest in their training for the marathon, whatever it is. So you don't have those. So what I do with my team, every day we have a 15-minute huddle. So we do it over Zoom, and it's not work related. It's just, we just talk about what's going on in our lives. Anything good, anything bad, anything that they're pleased about, worried about, just natural conversation. So create those team huddles. Also, it's a good idea when you're, again, traditional working in an office, everybody sort of, because they're communicating regularly, everybody knows what everybody else does. So with remote teams, they don't necessarily do that. People are working more in isolation. So it's a good idea to actually have an organization chart that actually, if you've got several people within your team, create an organization chart that everybody can have, and it can have on there a picture of the person, what they actually do, maybe their contact details, who they report into, etc. So people, the team understand what everybody else's place is and position within the team and what they do. Another thing that you can do is to use some kind of time tracking software as well. So this is software that where people, they log on to the software, and in there they can record what they're actually doing that day, which clients they're talking to, what tasks they're undertaking, and they start a timer, and that timer will record their hours, so you know exactly what hours they've done, and they know what hours they've done as well. So this is really good if you've got hourly paid people. So then you can use that in conjunction with your payroll. The software that we use is called HubStaff. There's another one out there which is called Time Doctor, which is also very good. There's a few of them around. And I would actually suggest, and I do this, record your own time as well, because it's really useful to actually know what you spend your time on, how you spend your day. Use HubStaff or Time Doctor or one of those to record your time, and then you can see where you're wasting time and how you yourself can be more efficient. So finally, I'm just going to finish off now today, and I'm just going to talk about some of the things that you can be doing now to prepare yourself for the new norm and for when business does start to return to normal. You can actually be using your time now where you may be working at home, and it may be that after this you're intending to go back to work. In fact, maybe from tomorrow you may be going back to work, but there may be things that you can be using your time now more efficiently to get your business ready for the new norm. And we're going to be talking about a lot of this stuff in a lot more detail over the next couple of weeks or so. So first of all, have a digital declutter. What do I mean by that? So this is where you go through your email, your inboxes, and all of those emails that bombard you all of the time, you unsubscribe to them, and you'll drastically reduce down all of the wasted information, wasted emails that you get that just rob you of your time. There may be other groups that you can unsubscribe to, maybe Facebook groups, maybe WhatsApp groups. So I know that I end up getting put into various different WhatsApp groups, and sometimes in a day there can be 30 or 40 WhatsApps that come through. So just unsubscribe from those. Then you're not going to get bombarded. You're not going to have those people robbing your time as well. Okay, so digital declutter, eliminate these things from your life, and then start to think now then about how you can automate your business. What tasks you can delegate out to other people. Start building up task lists of all of the things that need to be done within your business, and then who can you delegate those people out to? Okay, start to look at your systems, your processes that you use. How can you improve on those? Is there new software that you can use to help you automate your business? So this is all the sort of things that we're going to be talking about over the next couple of weeks. I'm going to be sharing with you some of the software that we use within our business, and all of this software that we use, we evaluate the software on a number of different items. So we look at how expensive is the software, how easy is it to use, what is the support like. You can have very good software, maybe fantastic, but if the support is rubbish, then you've got a real problem on your hands. So it's got to be easy to use. What's the functionality of the software like? Does it actually do everything that you need it to do? So we look at all of those elements when we're selecting what software we use, and I'm going to be sharing some of the software and doing some demonstrations of some of the great bits of software that we use within our business. So you can start researching that. You can start looking at what are your objectives, what are your goals, what do you want to be achieving in the next 12 months? And then you can start to schedule out deadlines for those objectives as well. And I'm going to be sharing some great software that I use for setting goals, for setting deadlines. And goals and deadlines equal results. Okay, you can have goals, but if you don't put the deadlines in place, then you're not going to get the results that you're looking for. You can catch up on your training. So, you know, invest some of the time in improving yourself, looking at ways that you can improve, not just from a business standpoint, but also personal development, you know, mindset. In fact, let's talk a little bit about this mindset. I think that a lot of people have used this this whole lockdown period to maybe reevaluate their lives. You know, it's given us all an opportunity to really think about. God, this sun really is blinding me. Using the time, yeah, by doing this lockdown, we've had a lot more time to think and to think about ourselves and focus on our own personal objectives. I think there's been a bit of an awakening, and in fact, Awaken to Business is exactly as it says. It's not just about business training and business mentorship. It's also about how to be more conscious in what you're doing and focus on yourself, your mindset, your mind, your body, your spirit. And I think that there has been an awakening. A lot of people have connected a lot more to nature. You know, you go outside and you smell the air and it's fresher. People are feeling, I think, a lot more grounded from this exercise, valuing the things that we've got in our lives, what's really important. We were out for a walk the other day and noticed just how much clearer the river was running. Okay, there's a lot of bad stuff that's come with this COVID, but there's also a lot of good stuff as well. So I'm not sure how I got onto that. Now I got a bit sidetracked. So focus on yourself. Yes, invest time on training, and not just business training, but also mindset training as well, and reevaluating your own life, your relationships, and all those things that go with it. So also you can use the time to actually call people, call clients, old clients, people that you should be making contact with. I think one thing that we're quite guilty of hiding behind emails, maybe messaging people on WhatsApp, but not actually speaking to them. There are people now there waiting to take the call. So ring people up, ring your old customers up and speak to them, see how things are going for them. You can look at your branding. Branding is so important. We're going to do a complete session on branding. Branding is so important to have your brand right. Branding is it's the message you put across about your business. Okay, it's not you're not, but it's a message. It's not what you're not telling people what you do. You're creating a feeling inside somebody by the way you do your branding. A good way to explain that is if you think about Virgin and British Airways. So both those companies, they fly people around the world. They operate aeroplanes. However, when you think about British Airways, you have a very different feeling inside to you to when you think about Virgin Atlantic, because their branding is so completely different. They were looking to create a different feeling within their market. So think about your branding. Redo your website. Okay, how can you improve your website? How can you improve your marketing? We're going to talk about all of that in detail in further broadcasts. And finally, as I said earlier, you can be spending the time working on your operations manuals, detailing out the processes that you have within your business. So if I can see the screen, I'm going to just stop sharing now. There we go. So I hope that's been of use to you. Just go back, actually, I'll just go to this slide here. Yeah, so I hope that's been of use to you. Wrong slide, hold on. This one, there we go. So, yes, we'll be doing another broadcast at 6 o'clock on Wednesday. I'm going to try and sort out the blinding sun before then. In the meantime, please scan the codes here. That will take you to my website, barbaraboom.solutions, where you can learn a little bit more about what I do. If you want to have a one-to-one chat with me, which I do over Zoom, then you can schedule a call with me by scanning the code on the right. That will take you to my online diary, online calendar. Please do book a call in with me if you've got any questions, anything you're not sure about, then please do that. And I look forward to seeing you again on Wednesday at 6 o'clock. Bye-bye.